Hello, magical people. My name is Lou, and I'd like to welcome you back to my channel. Today, I'm going to be doing an energy check-in reading, and it is going to be in 4 parts by the elements: earth, air, water, and fire. You're more than welcome to pick 1, 2, 3, or 4 of the readings. As always, please take what resonates and leave the rest. It's my hope that going forward, I will make this a weekly reading, a weekly energy check-in. So look forward to that in addition to my daily invitation from Tarot Shorts. Please like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. That would be terrific and lovely, and I would have a huge amount of gratitude and appreciation for those of you that choose to do that. Let's see. So, like I said, we're going to be doing an energy check-in today, and what we're going to be looking at is the current energy that is in your space or impacting you. And we're going to be asking the cards to give us some information about the challenges of that energy, as well as the gifts of that energy, which may or may not be something that you can immediately perceive. So that's why we ask the cards to give us a little bit of clarity. Also, we're going to be looking at what energy is coming towards you, as well as getting some just general advice from our guides. So like I said, feel free to watch 1, 2, 3, or all 4. As always, please take what resonates and leave the rest. And as always, be sure that you are making your own choices at the end of the day and following your own internal guidance. Having said all of that, we're going to just go ahead and jump right in. So we are going to start with Earth. So Earth folk, if you selected that element as your reading, then this one is for you. And like I said, we're going to be looking at a variety of things. First, we're going to ask the cards if they would, if our guides would speak to us through the cards for group 1. That is a huge pile. Nope. There we keep going here. We're going to, off to a smooth start. We are going to take a look first at the current energy that you are experiencing. Okay. And we have 4 cards here. We have the Keeper of Spells, which is the King of Wands. Feeling a little tickle in my throat. We have the Child of Visions, which is the Page of Cups. We have the Ace of Pentacles, and then also the 6 of Spells, which is known as the 6 of Wands. All right. So for your current energy, what I'm seeing is that there's a childlike approach to something new in your life, that you are trying to harness this like a newfound passion. You're trying to be in a position where you are taking hard work from the past and sort of creating something new out of it, and something that feels like it's sort of merging your intuitive watery self as well as that fiery self. So this is something that, you know, makes you feel good and makes you feel fulfilled, but is also like deeply, deeply interesting to you. And it might be something that you've been thinking about for a while, because with the 6 of Spells here, this is otherwise known as the 6 of Wands, which is indicative of like having success after a period of hard work or struggle. And so maybe this is something that, like, even though this is a new iteration of it, it's something that you've been putting some energy into for a while. So that is the current energy of what we've got going on right now, is that you've got this project that you're working on. So let's see, what are some challenges that are coming up for you from this current energy, Earth folk? What is some of the challenge? And we have the 8 of Spells, which can either mean that things are moving a little bit too fast, and that is maybe feeling a little bit of overwhelm for you. We also have the Enchanter, which is otherwise known as the Magician. Here, I'll show you. Show you these 2 cards. And so it's like there's this desire to and also the Seeker of Boons, which is the Knight of Pentacles. Interesting. So a challenge is like trying to merge these 2 energies, which is, you know, this is This is very gentle, very slow moving, very intentional energy. And this is very much like making things happen. So maybe it feels like, you know, one of the challenges is trying to keep communication open, keep things moving forward while also maintaining enough like methodology that you're providing structure and foundation to this new project. So we're going to pull some clarifiers in a couple of minutes here. First, we're going to get all the cards out. So next, we're going to, sorry, my nose is all itchy too. I'm just a mess. Okay, so now we're going to take a look at some of the gifts that are coming from this energy, this new project, this new iteration. And we have the Death card, which in this deck is known as the Black Shuck. And then let's see what else we've got as a gift. So transformation, the Nine of Challenges. Nine of Swords. So this is going to stir up some stuff. This is definitely going to stir up some stuff. And what I mean by that, like say for example, that this new project is you want to do comedy, okay? And so like this is something you've been thinking about for a while. You've been kind of like workshopping the idea with your friends, and it feels really good to you, and it's something that you're interested in. You're just starting to like get out there on the stage. And so now it's trying to balance not like overwhelming yourself, making sure that you're open to networking opportunities. This is all in the gifts. And then in the challenges, what that can mean is that this is going to maybe trigger some stuff for you. Maybe being seen by people is both something that you want and also something that is a little terrifying for you. Maybe putting yourself out there into the world and having, in this scenario, having to do a sort of situation where you market yourself isn't something that's comfortable for you. So that's going to cause a lot of negative self-talk because you're kind of like doing something new and challenging yourself in a new way and really trying to move beyond what no longer serves you. That's probably going to trigger some shit. So those are, like I said, these are gifts. Like having your shit triggered doesn't always feel good. And definitely the temptation there might be to, Four of Visions is Four of Cups, might be to not want to move with that energy at all. But the reality here is that like the reason why we sometimes get triggered is it's the universe showing us an opportunity to go ahead and heal and get some more clarity when we are triggered as to one, how to re-regulate ourselves, and then two, have a little bit more clarity about what happened there, why was that my response, and what can I learn from it so that I can continue to be in this space, in this little story I made up, continue to show up and try and do the work of being a comedian and stuff like that, without consistently getting triggered by this idea of being, maybe it's criticized, which of course, if you're putting yourself out there, that will come with a certain amount of criticism. Now, next we have for the coming energy, we have the Wise Woman, which is the intuition. And then we also have the Seeker of Spells. What was the other Seeker we got? The other Seeker was, right, Pentacles. So now this is the Knight of Wands. So the Wise Woman, the Knight of Wands, and the Nine of Spells. Oh, interesting. All right, so coming at you is feeling like you are continuing to follow your intuitive guidance, and that is bringing light to your passion, that you're bringing your passion forward, that you're continuing to stay with this project, which leads me to believe that, oh, and here it is even with the Nine of Spells, I guess I wasn't really thinking that all the way through, is that you're taking this Nine of Challenges energy, this energy of, Nine of Challenges is also why it's known as the Nine of Swords, by the way. So you're kind of taking this energy of anxiety, and instead the energy that's coming towards you is learning how to create boundaries, both with other people and with the self, to navigate that being triggered. So it looks like you are going to continue to stay on this path and continue to follow your intuition, whatever the project is for you. It does look like, at least in the short term here, you're going to be staying with it. So now we're going to get some clarifiers, and then we're going to pull some final advice for y'all. So let's get a clarifier for the Child of Visions. So in the current energy, we have the Child of Visions showing up here. So that is being clarified by the moon, which is also a very watery card. So yeah, this is something that does feel emotionally fulfilling to you, but maybe it's something you don't have perfect clarity on, which would make sense that it's the Child of Visions showing up. Like you're still allowing things to kind of germinate. So even though this is something that you've been interested in a while, it's like you're trying to grasp a new opportunity, and it's all still very nascent kind of energy. In the, let's see, in the challenges, let's get a clarifier for the Eight of Spells. Why are the Eight of Spells showing up here? I guess that's the one. And it is the Ten of Swords. Okay, so it is really feeling like overwhelm is the thing. So maybe it's like there's a concern, whether or not it's real, there's a concern or a fear of being overwhelmed, a fear of things moving too fast and not being able to handle it. And that not being able to handle it, that's just programming, by the way. You can handle it, and if there's something that you can't handle, then learning how to trust yourself so you have boundaries in place when you get to that point of prior to getting overwhelmed rather than after being overwhelmed, shutting it all down. So that I can't cope energy isn't true. You do have skills, and maybe they just need to be honed, but I get a feeling that for a lot of you, this is actually just a self-worth thing, that this programming is just old and needs to be updated. We also have the Knight of Swords, and I don't very often read things in reversals, but it feels salient to do it in this case. So with this Knight of Swords, I mean, this is kind of saying that you were coming out of a place of being ungrounded with the way that you think about things. And so again, that's just reiterating for me that programming about not being able to cope with things moving too fast or becoming overwhelmed and not being able to be as stable as you want. It's fine to have those fears, but allow that fear and that concern to educate you about the steps that you make moving forward rather than allowing you or making you feel like you have to stop. So now let's get a clarifier for this Four of Visions card that's showing up in the gifts. And it is showing up as the Eight of Pentacles. So maybe this won't resonate for everybody, but I'm feeling like maybe for some of you, there's a little bit of avoidance here. That what the thing is that like, yeah, you're going to be triggered by some shit and it's showing up because it's an opportunity. The universe is providing you with an opportunity to get greater clarity over a point that could use some healing for you. And maybe your natural inclination is to want to not look at that, and instead focus on what's directly in front of you rather than looking at the things that are impacting you, like being triggered by something. And this is instead saying that that's understandable. Like, obviously, it can be difficult to look at things that we don't want to look at or that we feel an aversion to looking at, but just keep trying. Just, the reason the universe is showing this all to you is it's probably showed it to you in a variety of different ways in the past, and it's just giving you an opportunity to do that next layer of healing. And so it's really just about putting in the practice and keep showing up for yourself. Now we are going to, dropped a card. Now we're going to pull a clarifier for, let's pull a clarifier for the Seeker of Spells, this Knight of Wands energy here that is showing up in the coming energy. And it is the Emperor. Okay, so we have the Emperor showing up here. Yeah, so again, I really see that, like, you are going to work through whatever challenges that you are experiencing here with this kind of having some fears triggered and having some concerns about overwhelm and inability to cope. And that one of the energies you're going to bring to this, like, staying in tune with your intuition and letting your intuition and your higher self guide you and that divine connection, and being in a place where you learn to have your defenses, you learn to have your boundaries, is going to serve you well, because by having our boundaries available to us, that allows us to ground ourselves a little bit more in the present moment, because it keeps us from letting the fear overwhelm us in those moments where, you know, like a triggering event could happen. So next we are going to pull some final thoughts from our guides in terms of, we're going to do some tarot cards as well as a few different oracle cards here, and just get some final advice from our guides. And so we have Rama, what are you being called to journey to? Ooh, wrong way. And that, I think, is a good reminder, and again is kind of like establishing or I can't think of the right word I want, but that's again just pointing to that Six of Spells energy, that this is something that you've been thinking about for a while, that your mind has kept coming back to, and there's a reason why you're being called to do it. We also have White Raven Spirit, trusting in the magic. So trusting in that magic of your divine self and your intuition and your connection to your intuition. And then we also have here Inner Truths, which I feel like I'm just repeating myself now, because the Inner Truths, again, this is just your High Priestess energy. And then a final couple of tarot cards, please, from our guides for advice to send Group 1, which is the Earth Folk, on their way. And we have here the Strength card, the Five of Challenges, and the Child of Boons. Okay, so your guides are just encouraging you to, when you do come at those times where it does feel like there's a lot of challenge, and that, you know, you are feeling like there's some inner conflict, or maybe it's external conflict, that again, just showing up with all of the compassion for yourself and for the situation as you navigate these energies, it's what's being advised. And also you're being invited to, during this process, not even with the heavier energy or the struggles of overcoming these challenges of overwhelm, even with that, your guides are also inviting you again to stay in touch with the magic, the thing that actually like makes you feel like this project, whatever it is that touches you and brings you delight and keeps you interested, it's going to be important to keep that in mind as well. So I hope you found this helpful, Earth Folk. And I do look forward to, if you'd like to leave any information in the comments below, I'm always happy to hear from you and what your experiences are and whether or not this resonated. So please do take care. Don't forget to be kind and gentle with yourself, and I will see you next time. And I dropped another card on the ground. It's a little warm, so I think they keep getting stuck to my skin when I lean on the table. So, all right, let's go ahead and shuffle, and then we will get ready for Group 2. Group 2 is going to be Air, the Air group. I don't know if the mics will pick this up or not, but I can totally hear a little squirrel outside of the window, which is propped open a little bit with a fan in it. You can totally hear a little squirrel out there chittering away, and it is pretty cute. Okay, one deck. That was embarrassing. Two decks. decks. Four decks. And 5 decks. All right. Group 2, Air Folk. If you have selected the element of air, then this is your reading. And we are going to get started. Like I said, we are looking at the current energy, challenges and gifts of that current energy, coming energy, and then we're going to get some clarifiers and some advice from guides. So to start off with, for group 2, which is the Air Folk, a few cards to tell us a little bit about the current energy that they are navigating. And, oh, that's interesting, the Wise Woman, which also showed up in the first card. So it's a time of getting in touch with your intuition. And then we also have Starlight. Oh, damn. All right, so we have the High Priestess, the Forge, which is known as, why am I spacing it? It's the Alchemist. Oh my God, it'll come to me in a moment. I don't know why I'm having a brain cramp. And Starlight, which is known as the Star. There is so much intuitive healing energy in these 3 cards alone. Temperance, of course, Alchemist. So we have Temperance, Star, and High Priestess energy here. I feel like maybe you are experiencing a lot of deeply spiritual stuff right now, and we'll get clarifiers on all of this stuff, but it feels like there's a lot of healing, there's a lot of tuning into your intuitive self, there's a lot of letting yourself dream and letting yourself think about, like, and maybe for the first time ever, really loosening some of the bounds on what you allow yourself to dream of and what you allow yourself to think of as being possible. So that's some pretty fucking heavy-duty awesomeness right there. So now let's look for gifts. Okay, oh, I'm sorry, challenges. So challenges are the 7 of Visions, otherwise known as the 7 of Cups. Ooh, another 7. The 7 of Challenges. And one more card here to help us talk about the gifts, or challenges. Seeker of Spells. Okay, so maybe feeling like there are, like you're not exactly sure where to go next. There's lots of possibilities and maybe having a hard time honing in on it. There's also this feeling of like things being unfair, or like trying to reclaim something that was taken from you, and also trying to be in that position where you sort of learn how to harness the fire energy in a way that is more mature. Like there's, you know, this is the night, so it's not full mastery yet. Like you're still working towards it, but you're like taking strides. So like it's like you've taken all of these steps forward and you're not sure where to go next, and there's a little bit of feeling of like, yeah, having to, trying to restore justice in a way, trying to restore a balance. So that's some, I wonder if there's karma. I wonder if there's karma coming up for you. If you are on a spiritual path right now and you're finding that maybe you are feeling a little stuck and not sure how to move forward, it might have to do with just sort of a past karmic debt. Okay, so let's see now if we can take a look at the gifts of this magical energy that you're currently experiencing. And, oh, that's a whole, we have the 10 of Pentacles. Oh, there's a whole lot here. Okay, so we have the Keeper of Visions. Keeper of Visions is the King of Water, King of Cups. So we've got King of Cups, we've got the Fortune's Wheel, which is the Wheel of Fortune, the Ten of Pentacles, the Five of Pentacles, and the Child of Wands. It's like there's a playfulness here. There's not only a playfulness here, but there's a real like expanding of the heart. But there's still like there's a humbleness to it. You know what I mean? Like there's an opening of the heart space. There's a embracing that, you know, again, going kind of hearkening back to that Star card, like trying to figure out what is going to make my heart feel good in the long run. What kind of community or family situation do I want to have in my life, and learning how to build that and keeping, like I said, but there is a feeling of real humbleness to it, and not taking it for granted. You know, like usually the Five of Boons, Five of Pentacles energy is a little bit of hard energy, but I'm really feeling like in this case that it's not. It's really just like chance is showing up here and saying that all of these amazing things are happening. There are a huge amount of gifts that are coming from this, including having an awareness of yourself on an emotional level, on a very intuitive level that you've never had before. Damn, I just got a notification that my battery's low. I'm wondering if that's screwing up this video. I meant to plug it in beforehand, but did not. Anyways, so yeah, I feel like there's this, you know, the gifts are going to be, yes, being able to move forward. Why? I don't know what's happening here. I'm going to have to edit this video, I think. I don't really understand the technology and what is going on with it. So, oh, dang it. Whew, we'll see what happens when I go to edit this video. But anyways, I feel like there's a lot of amazing gifts coming at you, and that you're going to be in a place where you can harvest those gifts and be able to be in that place of being deeply spiritual without being in a place where you, that goes to your head. Like it's still going to allow, you're still going to be able to stay pretty grounded. So what energy is coming at you? We have the Two of Spells, Setting of Intentions. I love it. We have the Moonlight card, which is the Moon card. So again, we've got some leaning into the intuition. And then we also have the Weaver of Spells. Awesome. Awesome. So moving from that Seeker of Spells, the Knight of Wands, into the Weaver of Spells, which is the Queen of Wands, and setting your intentions and staying in that intuitive space, allowing your heart space to stay open. Like I see that, you know, this spiritual journey that you're on is going to continue to yield a lot of fruit, and that it's also giving you a lot of understanding of how to set your intentions and how to sort of like weave that magic, you know, like kind of like she's doing in that picture. So, all right, what do we want here? Next, I'm going to do some clarifiers. So in the overall energy, let's go ahead and clarify the Forge card. Let's go ahead and clarify the Temperance card. And that is the Death card. So again, deep, 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 deep healing energy here. You know what? I'm gonna, just so my phone doesn't die during the recording of this, I'm going to take a pause real quick and go get my charger. I'm deeply apologetic that this is so unprofessional, but you live, you learn. Thank you for your patience. Okay, now getting back to this. So yes, so with the Death card coming in to clarify the Temperance card, I think it's very, very obvious that you are in a place where some deep, deep healing is occurring. And that even though it may feel like maybe this is bringing up a lot of stuff, like especially with the Seven of Challenges, with Seven of Swords, which I'm about to clarify, I feel like maybe this is bringing up a lot of stuff that like maybe unresolved traumas or unresolved grief or things that you didn't even ever realize were things that you needed to grieve, that now that you've gotten some healing done, it's kind of like once you open the door to healing, there is a period of time where the door just seems to open wider and wider and wider, and that can make you feel like you don't know what's going on, which is that Seven of Visions energy. That there's just a lot of opportunities, but not enough information to really know exactly which way to go right now. So let's pull a clarifier for that Seven of Challenges, that Seven of Swords. And we have the Hermit here. Okay, yeah, so I feel like this is speaking to past stuff. Like that's one of the challenges that's coming up for you now, is that now that you're in this space of deep healing, that it's kind of triggering some things that maybe haven't been thoroughly dealt with in the past. And so, you know, you're being invited here to give yourself a little bit of that hermit energy and clear everybody else out of your space. And by everybody else, I mean the energetic sometimes too. So, you know, this is an opportunity of really grounding in yourself and really going within and dealing what needs to be what needs to be dealt with. Now let's look for a clarifier for this Five of Boons and the gifts. Why is the Five of Pentacles showing up in the gifts? And we have the King of Pentacles. Yeah, okay, so again, I think that this is really just, like I said, it's not coming up to show you that there's, like, one of the gifts is that you're going to be poverty stricken, because that wouldn't be very much a gift. But one of the gifts of doing this healing energy is that you will be in a place of, even though you will be in a place where you have attained the throne, so to speak, you are still going to be humble about it. Like, this is one of, like, the most grounded of the kings. It's the fiery part of Pentacles, so there's a smoldering, earthy energy to it that doesn't get too high on itself, I guess is a good way to put it. And now let's pull a clarifier for the Weaver of Spells. Why is the Weaver of Spells showing up in the coming energy? So the Queen of Wands, and that, oh, that's interesting. That is being clarified by the Seven of Wands. So, like, really stepping into your power and really acknowledging how unique you really are and owning that, rather than letting that be something that makes you feel like you have to be defensive about, instead being something that you really own. And that will allow that to flourish even more. Okay, now we're going to pull just some final advice from our guides, a few more tarot cards for some advice, as well as some oracle cards. And we have the Child of Challenges. So this is the child, the Page of Swords. And, like, the Page of Swords wants to have a new way of thinking about things, or does have a new way of thinking about things. But it's like rewriting those neural pathways takes a little while. So it does require some patience. And an understanding that you are in a new place, that this is not someplace you've been before. The Four of Challenges, which is the Four of Swords. Your guides are inviting you to, oh goodness. So we've got the Four of Challenges, the Six of Challenges, the Tower, and the Child of Challenges. So we're also going to pull some oracle cards. So we have trust the niggle. Trust that, what is the niggling feeling trying to tell you? So you know how, like, yeah, like, as you can see, the way she's kind of, like, grasping at her midsection there, like, sometimes our intuition will speak to us through our body, and what is your intuition trying to tell you here? And, like, with these four cards together, okay, so we've got the Tower. The Tower falls because the Tower must, which is all just pointing back to this huge amount of healing energy that you're already in. Like, it's okay for things that don't work for you to fall apart, because that's where you get the materials and the time and the energy to create something new, is after we get rid of the stuff that we don't want anymore. And, like, also that there is a period of, like, having to wait out the wolves. Like, if there's any kind of I know in my own healing journey, one of the things that I sometimes get on myself about is how long it's taking. And I get like, there's my egoic self that sometimes gets impatient with how long things take. But there's another part of me, a higher, wiser part of me that understands that you can only allow the healing to happen when you're in a place where you're not actively in danger anymore, and where, you know, like, especially if things have been very difficult for a long period of time, then you need to let the dust settle before you can really set in and do the hard work and allow yourself to show up in that Four of Swords space, which is allowing yourself to mindfully rest. I often think of this as the meditation card. So your guides are giving you the advice of like, hey, you're where you at. It's okay. It's okay. You are fine. You are the apple tree thriving. What has come down for a reason. Your intuition that brought you into this place of healing, like, yeah, it's on track. It needed to be done. And like, don't forget to show up and allow yourself to have laughter. Like, one of the greatest reasons, or one of the greatest side effects, I think, of moving down the healing path is getting and being able to get in touch with our lighter energy more readily. And that is really important to remember that we can do that. And for an animal spirit, we are getting the fox spirit, being able to think on your feet. So yeah, like showing up for yourself in the moment. This does feel as though there is a lot of spiritual energy here. So I think this learning to think on your, or thinking on your feet, is also learning how to trust yourself a little bit more. I hope you found this helpful. Please feel free to leave a comment below and let me know what resonated, and of course what didn't. That's also fine too. Please feel free to let me know if you have any thoughts that you'd like to share. And don't forget to be kind and gentle with yourself. Till next time, see you later. Now it's time to reshuffle everything. One. Ooh. Sometimes my shuffling skills just suck. Almost done. And 5. Today, if you selected water as your element, then this reading is for you. And again, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be looking at your current energy, some challenges that might be coming up from that energy, some gifts from that energy, as well as what energy is coming at you, and general advice from our guides. So first, let's take a look for our water peoples. Let's get a few cards telling us a little bit about, ooh, that's just way too many. Nope. Nope. That one? Okay, that one is a yes. And that one is the Five of Spells. Ah, okay, feeling a little bit of Five of Wands energy. Okay, so feeling a little bit conflicted, or maybe there's a little bit of rivalry going on. We also have the Four of Challenges, the Four of Swords, and, you know, trying to be mindful and meditative and sort of be the apple tree, sort of blossoming amidst a dark forest, you know, like this energy is very, very specific. It's very how to thrive and how to give ourselves what we need, even when it doesn't look like it would be right there, like getting that nourishment from within. And then the Two of Cups. Okay, so current energy, Five of Wands, Four of Swords, Two of Cups. It feels like, you know, maybe there's something, you've got an interpersonal relationship right now that's showing up that feels a little bit on the hot and cold side. It feels a little bit like it's moving. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I was holding these up high enough for everybody to see, and I totally was not. You know, it feels like there's a little bit of moving, like maybe there's some rivalry coming up or some conflict coming up with somebody that you are very, very close to. And the Two of Cups, although it can be a lover or a partner, it doesn't necessarily have to be. It's somebody that we share a heart connection with, like a very deep, like emotional intimacy with. And so right now it seems as though there's some conflict that's showing up in one of your close relationships. And you're trying to be in a place where you are taking care of yourself. So, okay, let's see what some challenges are that are showing up from that energy. And we have the Ace of Pentacles. Ooh, an opportunity for something new. How is that a challenge? And then we have the Ten of Boons, the Ten of Pentacles. How is, I'm gonna have to get some clarifiers on that. And then the Keeper of Boons. Okay, it may be, yes. Okay, I got it. So this, whatever it is that you and your person are not seeing eye to eye on or not on the same page about, this is kind of bringing up a lot of other stuff for you. It's kind of got you wondering, like, is this the right thing? And this absolutely will not resonate with everybody, but I'm kind of wondering if for some of you, like this conflict and being in a place of unknowing and feeling like only you are showing up to meet your needs is kind of making you wonder, like, is this the person I give the ring to, so to speak? Is this the person that I want to commit to? It's raising a lot of questions. Is this the person I want to build a family with, or have I been misperceiving something along the way? And the Keeper of Boons, like, you know, that's the King of Pentacles, and, you know, he wants very much to be, it's like you want to be in this grounded, abundant place, and this conflict or this situation that you're currently in is making you have a lot of second guessing about it. So let's see what the gifts are from this current energy. What are some of the gifts for our water friends? Okay, so we have the Forest Lord, which is the Emperor, learning how to have boundaries and have structure. Okay. We also have the Seven of Visions, being open to possibilities, but not really necessarily having a clear direction as to which way we want to go. And then also the Seeker of Boons, which is the Knight of Pentacles. So it feels like one of the gifts is that, like, you're understanding that this is an opportunity to heal something. You're not really sure exactly how to do it, It feels like there's a lot of different paths forward. But one of the gifts is that you will get like some mastery over, you know, that divine masculine, that the structure, the emperor energy is very, it's very formed, it's very definitive, it is very much about boundaries. And okay, so we have all of those things coming up as gifts. Now let's take a look at what coming energy is, or what the energy coming at you is, from this conflict, this place of not. Oh, okay. And also one of the gifts is seeing that you do have possibilities available to you, and that you get to be the lord of your own forest, and you get to be the seeker of your own boons. Okay, so coming energy at you is, we have the Temperance card, the Eight of Spells, and the Death card. So it looks like this situation is going to continue to provide opportunities for you to heal and for you to transform something about yourself, something about the way that you communicate, either externally or internally. So now we're going to get some clarifiers. So let's go back to the beginning here and see, what is a clarifier for this Five of Spells? Why is the Five of Spells showing up in the current energy? And we have here the Ace of Pentacles. Oh, okay, so maybe there's something new, a new opportunity, new job, new project, or something like that, new place to live, opportunity to move. Maybe that's the thing that's coming up between you and your person that is causing conflict of some sort. Now let's see if we can get, for the challenges, let's get a clarifier for, why the Ten of Pentacles is showing up in a challenge position. And we have the Three of Cups. So that is interesting, because both of those cards, both the Ten of Pentacles and the Three of Cups, speak to being in community in a way that feels good to our heart. It's like there is a celebratory, but not just celebrating on your own, but like celebrating with your friends, or being in a collaboration of some sort that feels good to you. So yeah, something about like that's a challenge. Like maybe somebody in your family or one of your close friends, maybe it's one of those things where there's like a taking sides, where like you and your person are trying to navigate some challenging energy and people are putting in their 2 cents. Let's now look at the gifts and see if we can get a clarifier. Let's get a clarifier for the Seven of Visions. Clarifier for the Seven of Cups. And it's the Eight of Swords, which, yeah, very much similar energy. Okay, so you feel like you have a lot of options and you're not really sure which way to go here. That's one of the challenges, is both recognizing that you have a lot of options, but also the flip side of that is like, what do you do with them? And the Eight of Swords is showing you that like one of the gifts is to just know that you are in a place where, even though it feels like not all of the information is available to you, that you kind of, that's just a perception. Like the perception is that you need to know more before you can take a safe step. But the reality is that if this person took a step in any direction, they'd be just fine. They could, you know, unwiggle themselves from those bounds and take off their blindfold. And, you know, there's a lot more agency in this card than the person feels like they have. And I think that's kind of what's showing up to tell you here. So in the coming energy, let's see if we can get a clarifier for this Eight of Spells. There's a lot of communication going on there. So, oh, okay. We've got the Queen of Pentacles, the Three of Swords, the Page of Cups, and the Five of Wands. Yeah, I feel like there is this place of like, the reason why the Eight of Spells like this, or the Eight of Wands, yeah, Eight of Spells, same thing. So that energy of like, the coming energy of talking to yourself in a new way is basically about how to become more beneficially introspective and, coming out of that place of being really harsh with ourselves or not like judging ourselves in the way that we experience our own emotions, especially the negative emotions. And instead we're kind of being invited to show up for ourselves. So I do really get the feeling that with this coming energy in between the death card, allowing things to pass that no longer serve us, and with the forge card, being able to take the elements that we have available to us and using them to great purpose and to allow healing to happen. I feel like one of the things that you're being invited to heal here is the way that you talk to yourself, your internal dialogue. So maybe something about this situation in being in conflict with others is also bringing up a little bit of negative self-talk in your own mind, and you're kind of like almost like gaslighting yourself in a way. So, okay, let's get some final advice from our guides, a few tarot cards and also a couple oracle cards. Actually, we'll do the oracle cards first. So we have the Panther Spirit, Reclaiming Your Power. This is one of my favorite cards in this deck. And so important. So if this is a situation where you are gaslighting yourself, then it's just time to acknowledge that it's actually not you gaslighting yourself. One of those voices in your head that's doing the gaslighting isn't actually really you. And it's okay for you to let go of what needs to be let go of and step into that place of deep healing and reclaiming your power. So it might be that whatever the conflict is that's showing up between you and your person might not be reconcilable, which doesn't necessarily mean it's the end of that relationship in any way, but it just means that you're allowed to stand where you are. You're allowed to stand where you are and be who you are. We also have 4 oracle cards. We have gratitude and appreciation, and I'm feeling like there's a lot of gratitude and appreciation that should come in for yourself and for the magic that you're allowing to enter your life by claiming this this energy, this 4 of challenges energy, this like showing up for yourself and trying to get your own needs met. Then we also have Lemuria, creating heaven on earth. It's happening. So this is a part of the healing process for you. This is something that will allow you to move forward with a slightly different vantage point and a different understanding of yourself. So a few more final tarot cards for advice from our guides. And we have the Enchanter's Wheel, the Ace of Visions. Oh, okay. So Ace of Cups. So taking a... gee whiz. All right. So taking a chance, knowing that luck is on your side, and knowing that the universe is showing up for you with a cup full of love. And also with reiterating to you that you get to make your own life and you get to make your own choices. So if this is a situation where you are in conflict with somebody over something about you, something that you really... like this Ace of Boons, this new opportunity, like if it's something that you really want... sometimes that means that we just can't come to agreement with people, but that doesn't mean that you can't still show up for yourself. Oh gosh, I wish I knew exactly what your particulars were, because this is so fascinating. But I do hope that this has been helpful to you and provided a little bit of clarity about your situation, and I look forward to next time. Don't forget to be kind and gentle with yourself, and I'll see you soon. And last one here, we've got our fire people. So let's do some shuffling before we move on to that one. Fun. 4. And 5. Fire friends, group 4, if you selected fire as your element, then this is going to be your reading. And we are going to take a look at your current energy, the challenges and gifts of that current energy, your coming energy, and some advice from your guides. So starting off here with the current energy, we have the 4 of Boons, which is the 4 of Pentacles, the Ace of Challenges, which is the Ace of Swords. Okay. And the World. Ooh, okay, so that's so funny. We've got both the end of the Major Arcana and we've got an Ace. So things are coming to an end, and I get the feeling that, like, so this 4 of Pentacles energy is kind of like holding too tightly to things, which kind of like energetically sort of cockblocks us from receiving fully. I'm sorry, I've been holding these cards down really low and I thought you could see them, but you really couldn't. My bad. That's the second time I've done that. So your current energy is like being in this place where, like, you're ending a cycle, and like with the Ace of Challenges, the Ace of Swords, it's like a new truth or a new understanding or a new idea, and like moving out of that 4 of Boons place. I feel like maybe you're trying to work on like attachment, and the ways in which you are attached to things, and seeing how sometimes being overly attached to things can sort of not work to our favor. That's interesting. It's interesting because, like, the 4 of Boons, you know, it speaks of being in a place where you've got a lot available to you, but you're almost holding it so tightly that it's not really serving the purpose that it's intended to. So now let's take a look. Let's take a look at what the challenges that are coming up for you as a result of this current energy. Letting this new cycle or old cycle end, like, and it's a big cycle. So we have here the 2 of Boons. Okay, so trying to maintain balance while being subject to forces that are out of our control, and trying to, like, yeah, have equilibrium as we move forward. Oh, okay. 10 of Wands. 10 of Cups, sorry. 10 of Cups, full cups. So there's a lot of feeling here. Well, okay, so that's interesting because the 10 of Cups showing up as a challenge. And then we also have the 2 of Cups, that feeling like you're just not seeing. Like every time you're trying to look around, you just come back to looking at yourself in some way. And I want to let that brew and percolate in the back of my mind for a moment. And such interesting energy. And it's funny because I feel like sometimes when there are cards or combinations that come up, this always used to happen to me doing aura readings too. When there are cards or energies that come up that I have a hard time tuning into, it's probably because I have a match to it in some way. So let's, we'll come back to challenges in a minute, and let's look at the gifts. So we have the Fairy Wind, which is otherwise known as the Chariot card. So a gift is like, yeah, being able to drive forward in a really, really big way, from a place of like clarity and understanding. And then we also have the 6 of Cups. Okay, Emil, you know, the 6 of Cups, like revisiting our past in a way, or leaning into sentimentality and nostalgia. Oh, okay, let's get one more. 10 of Pentacles. You know, the family feeling good to us, family being in a place where it is, it feels like a safe place where we can be ourselves. Yeah, so you're coming out of a situation that has been self-limiting, and instead you're moving into a place where you're like, the inner child, your inner child is like being brought into present time more. Like your inner child has experienced some healing and getting to that's allowing you to show up as your most authentic self. And of course, when we show up as our most authentic self, that drives the way that we move forward. So going back to these challenges here, we've got the Two of Pentacles, the Ten of Cups, and the Two of Cups. I mean, the Two of Swords. Yeah, I feel like, you know, you're trying to maintain balance. Like one of the challenges is, oh my God, this, seriously, sometimes it's just so simple that I can't even believe I don't see it. So it's like, yeah, and I'm also getting wicked deja vu, like wicked deja vu right now. But one of the challenges is that, you know, like as you're coming out of this cycle and trying to start a new cycle, you're having a hard time tuning into what you actually want. Like, what actually is it that you want? Like, you can only get so far. It's almost like if any of you watchers are MBTI nerds, and I know that some of you are, then this kind of almost feels like backstack FI to me. Like that not knowing, like, what do I want? I'm not even sure what I want. I really can't even clearly see it, but I know that I need to figure out what I want so that I can start building towards it. So it's that energy of like, you were in a place of being self-limiting and not allowing yourself to receive for so long. And now you're ready to move out of that energy. And it's kind of like okay, well, what do I want? And like the gift is that if you can get in touch with that information and you can really go and find what your Ten of Cups is, or what the abstract idea of it is, without getting too attached to the particulars of the outcome, then that will allow you to drive forward. So let's see what energy is coming at you as you navigate all of this energy. And I am totally FI backstack, so that makes sense. I also don't know what I want sometimes. So coming energy, we have the Ace of Spells, which is a new passion. So you're in the current energy of a new idea, a new way of thinking, and then coming at you is also another gift from the universe as like a new something to get excited about, and also potentially a new heart connection or a reestablishment of a heart connection. And additionally, the Tower card. So like coming at you, it seems as though this is going to be perhaps a little bit intense, but kind of like awesome. It's going to give you an opportunity to deepen some emotional intimacy or create some new emotional intimacy. And also that's probably going to bring up some stuff for you that needs to change. You know, because sometimes that's what peopling does. Peopling shows us things about ourselves that we could do without, basically. I don't really know how to say a whole lot more about that without going too far onto my soapbox. So now we're going to get some clarifiers. So for the current energy, if we could get a clarifier for our fire folk, for the Four of Boons, we have the Nine of Wands. So it's like you've been hurt in the past, and that's made you feel almost like it's been so tough in the past, and so like I've been so put upon and kind of beat up and talked down to and all of that it kind of puts me in this place where I feel like I have to be like almost defensive of what I have and like hold too tightly to it. So that makes a lot of sense why that's showing up in your current energy. But I'm also glad that you are moving out of that space and that you are closing that loop and that you are instead allowing a new way of thinking about things to come in. Because that, I mean, this is, you know, it feels like today that lots of stuff about healing is coming up, which makes sense. Healing is pretty ubiquitous. It happens around us all of the time. We are always being invited to do more of it. All right, so since I didn't really say what I was going to specify for, I'm going to put this one aside for now and see if it becomes apparent in the next moment. Although I am seeing 2 and 2 is 4. Okay, so with the current challenges, let's clarify the 10 of Visions. And yeah. Okay, so we're going to take the 4 of Swords for this, as well as the Magician. So in the current challenges, this 10 of Cups energy is showing up here as a challenge, because you do feel kind of like there's this back and forth between being very active and driving forward and like making change happen, and also being in a state of non-movement, in a state of rest. And so that it's like there's this internal back and forth that's maybe happening in your head that's making it a little bit difficult for you to see exactly what your 10 of visions is. But if you actually can merge these energies, which you can, like, you know, it's not a matter of saying that the Four of Swords is the right answer or that the Magician is the right answer, but it's a matter of understanding the interplay between those internal dynamics, and that might give you greater illumination to helping to tune in to what your heart is really calling for. So in the gifts, let's see about getting a clarifier for the Six of Visions, the Six of Cups. Let's see if we can find out a little bit more about that inner child there. And we have the King of Pentacles. Yeah, learning how to ascend the throne and like getting that inner child who at probably some point in the past was a actual child and was maybe experiencing hurt or difficulty, and bringing that inner child current date, bringing that inner child up to date and recognizing how much progress we've made and how much that has allowed us to create a sense of stability and groundedness within ourselves. Okay, now let's go ahead and find out what is the deal with the Tower card showing up in the coming energy. And that is being clarified by Justice. So things need to be brought back into balance. And sometimes the only way things can be brought into balance when they are unbalanced is a readjustment. There is an adjustment needed. And so that's why that energy is going to be coming at you, is that there is an adjustment that needs to be made, and making this adjustment will allow you to have a deeper sense of emotional intimacy. And also for some of you, I do want to just say that the Two of Cups isn't necessarily an external energy. The Two of Cups can also be about the way we come into union with self and the way that we integrate the different aspects of ourself into a cohesive whole. So before I send y'all on your way, fire folks, we are going to pull just a few more cards with some advice, as well as getting some oracle cards from our guides. So what is some general advice for the people watching the fire? We have here the Nine of Challenges. Oh. Interesting. Okay. All right. I'm just going to keep pulling and let the story make itself apparent. So we have that. We have the Ace of Boons. And then we also have the Weaver of Boons, which is the Queen of Pentacles. We have singing your own song. We also have maintaining your childlike spirit. And we also have wait, postpone, pause, say no. Ooh, interesting energy. So with the Weaver of Boons here, like, this queen is showing up to tell us that when we are able to merge the elements of water and earth, then there is an enormous amount of growth that can happen. And you just ask any gardener and they'll tell you that those are two pretty key elements. So like the advice is to be in that place of gentleness with ourselves and be in that place where we are showing up as our own healer, and recognizing that even though sometimes we may feel like our emotional truth is one of being, there's a lot of anxiety, there's a lot of worry, there's a lot of concern, that it's okay to visit that space, but also recognize that there are new opportunities every day to learn how to navigate that energy with a bit more ease. So I really feel like your guides are, they're inviting you to have boundaries, whether that's with yourself or with another person, or possibly even with this Two of Cups energy that's going to be coming at you. Boundaries are okay. Like, you need to be who you are. You need to be who you are and sing your own song and acknowledge that you're the best one to show up for yourself. Like, I'm not saying that obviously no man is an island, but, and I certainly wouldn't want to say that that's the case, but I think at the end of the day, this is really a journey of the self. And other people do play into that, but at the end of the day, we are really the drivers of our own car, and of our own life. And that when we can stay in touch with the parts of ourselves, with the childlike parts of ourselves, with the healed childlike parts with ourselves, then that will help us to navigate the anxiety and the worry a little bit more, and allow us to be in a place of our own personal empowerment, and being powerful in that state of empowerment. I hope that you all have found this helpful. I'd love to hear if you have any thoughts that you'd like to share in the comments below. Please don't forget to be kind and gentle with yourself. And until next time, take care.